They said it was just a game. But 10 years later, no one knows who created it or what happened to the people who solved it. Part 1. The First Message. The 4th of January, 2012. A post appears on an obscure message board. 4chan. X. The paranormal board. Black background. White text. It reads, "Hello. We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. No name, no contact, no instructions. Just that message. And a JPEG image." People start opening it. At first, it looks ordinary, just a black screen with white letters. But someone decides to analyze the image file itself, and that's where it begins. Inside the image is a message hidden in the code. Using a tool called outguess, a steganography decoder, someone extracts a string of characters, Tibrivs Clavdivs, Caser says. A reference to Julius Caesar and, more importantly, a clue toward using Caesar's cipher, one of the oldest encryption methods. They decode it, and it leads to a URL, a simple black page, white text again, this time a duck, and the phrase, "Whoops, just decoys this way. Looks like you can't guess how to get the message out." A taunt, a misdirection, but those who keep digging find another layer. In the sound file of the duck page is a code, and that code opens a book cipher. And from there, the trail branches. Within hours, hundreds of people are working together and against each other to decode the puzzle. They find more steganographic images, more historical references, more ancient languages, runes, poetry, prime numbers, cryptographic hashes. It's elegant, complex, precise, and not random. This isn't the work of a bored hacker. It's structured, intentional. Some believe it's a recruitment tool. But by whom? As the days go on, solvers begin to organize. They form IRC channels, private forums, GitHub repos. They track every lead, cross-reference every number. They start documenting their work. And then, the game changes. The puzzle points to a phone number, not an IP address, not a Tor site, a real-world landline in Texas. People call it. They hear a robotic voice. "Very good. You have done well. To continue your journey, follow the clues at the following coordinates." And then it lists GPS locations. Across the globe: Seattle, Warsaw, Paris, Seoul, Miami. At these locations, someone has placed flyers, paper flyers, with the cicada symbol, a QR code, a message: "Find the truth, continue the path. Only the worthy will advance." Now it's real. It's physical. It's global. Someone or some organization is deploying posters at exact coordinates within hours of digital clues being solved. And no one has taken credit. No name, no email, no marketing, nothing. The internet explodes. Reddit threads, dark web whispers, amateur cryptologists, professional mathematicians. Everyone wants in, but only a few are fast enough, clever enough to keep up. And suddenly, one by one, those who are furthest ahead go silent. They stop posting, stop updating, stop helping others. They disappear. Then, the message changes. We have found the individuals we were looking for. The journey ends here. Those who made it know what comes next. The rest? Locked out. The website taken down. The clues deleted. The IRC empty. Just the cicada symbol remains. And then, silence. For a year. No explanation. No announcement. No reward. Nothing. Then, January 2013. Another post. Same message board. Same tone. New image. New trail. Cicada has returned. Was it a cult? A secret society? A recruitment funnel? For who? CIA? NSA? A tech company? A rogue AI? No one knew. And no one ever came forward. But one thing was now clear. Cicada 3301 was not a hoax. They had physical reach, technical depth, philosophical consistency, and perhaps most disturbing of all, patience. They could wait a full year between puzzles. They didn't want attention. They wanted results. The name? It came from the image signature. Every image posted by the group included metadata signed Cicada 3301. Some think it's based on the cicada insect's life cycle. They emerge once every 13 or 17 years, live in silence, then vanish. An elegant metaphor. Others think it's biblical, or ancient Greek, or Masonic. No one knows. But one truth remains. This wasn't a game. It wasn't marketing. It wasn't a viral stunt. It was something else. In part 2, we follow the trail. Through books, phones, and code. Through cities, maps, and history. And into something darker than anyone expected. Because Cicada 3301 wasn't just a puzzle. It was an invitation. Part 2. The puzzle spreads. Cicada 3301 didn't vanish. It evolved. After the first wave of clues, the image, the duck page, the Caesar cipher, those who had made it through were expecting closure. A final message, an end. Instead, they got a doorway. The next phase was faster, more layered, less forgiving. What started as simple ciphers became recursive. Book codes built on steganographic images, hash values chained with prime indexed letters, obscure philosophical quotes tied to PGP encrypted keys. And everything, every single piece had to be perfect. One letter wrong, and the entire chain collapsed. There were no hints, no walkthroughs, just math, discipline, obsession. The solvers split into two groups. Those who posted publicly on Reddit, forums, wikis, and those who worked quietly, privately, moving faster, deeper. Some called them elitists. Others called them chosen. But no one could deny they were ahead. And then came the next anomaly. A sound file. It was disguised as a .mp3 embedded in a web page. The track? A low, distorted melody. Buzzing. Off-key. But within the waveform, a pattern. When analyzed, the audio revealed Morse code, spectrogram glyphs, embedded instructions, a new hash signature. It led to another page, another cipher, another wall. Some dropped out, others went deeper. At this point, the solvers were dealing with obscure references to Agartha and primordial truth, phrases in Latin, Sanskrit, runes, and visionaire ciphers. fragments of writings from William Blake and Thomas Paine. Everything pointed toward something more than a puzzle, something ideological, philosophical. Then came the Tor address. Hidden inside a PGP signature was a onion link, accessible only through the Tor network. No turning back. Inside, a countdown and a simple instruction. Only the first will be admitted. The rest are observers. It was a race, and it wasn't fair. Those who arrived in time were given a new challenge. A digital copy of an ancient-looking book, titled Liber Primus, the first book, written entirely in runes. Not Norse, not Tolkien, something new. A custom alphabet carefully constructed. Every letter, symbol, structure part of a higher cipher, and every page philosophical. Lines like, a warning to those who would follow. Seek, and you shall be found. Nothing for you here. Your mind is your cage. Some pages translated easily. Others, not at all. Even today, years later, half the book remains unsolved. But it wasn't just about solving. It was about understanding. Many who decoded the runes didn't pass to the next stage. Cicada wasn't testing just intelligence. It was testing alignment. Those who sought fame, exposure, clicks, were disqualified. Those who shared too much, locked out. Those who understood, moved forward. And then it happened again. A handful of the top solvers went silent, vanished from the forums, deleted their accounts, stopped replying to messages. One user wrote, "It's not what you think. I thought it was a game. It's not. Don't keep going." Then, deleted their post. More speculation erupted. Was Cicada a cult? A recruitment program? A filter system for post-national operatives? Some believed it was a private group, looking for candidates to protect digital privacy. Others claimed it was a shadow project for a decentralized global intelligence network. A few said nothing. They just kept solving. New puzzles referenced koans, Zen riddles meant to transcend logic. They included images of labyrinths, mandalas, crows, obelisks, and always the cicada, that symbol, symmetrical, cryptic, primal, never explained, never altered. Each new wave had fewer solvers, fewer clues, tighter gates. Those who remained weren't just puzzle experts. They were philosophers, coders, quiet, determined. Then the page changed. Once again, we have found the individuals we sought. The journey ends here. Those who have followed the path know what to do. And once again, it went dark. No announcement. No winners. No prize. Just silence. But something had shifted. Those who had reached the deepest layers spoke differently. They weren't interested in explaining or documenting. They had joined something or been consumed by it. And for those left behind, the clues were still there, waiting. In part 3, we follow what came next. The phone booths, the real-world signals, the disappearances. Because Cicada had one more message, and this time, it wasn't online. Part 3. The phone booths. Coordinates. Real ones. For weeks, Cicada had operated in code, symbols, encryption, purely digital. But now, It stepped into the real world. People solving the cipher chain reached the next message. It was buried inside a Tor site, accessible only through layers of keys. And there, a list appeared. Cities, latitudes, longitudes, all time-stamped. No explanation, just a countdown, and a phrase, "Our next step is outside. We await you." The locations spanned the globe. Seattle, Warsaw, Paris, Seoul, Sydney, Miami, New Orleans, Moscow, all urban, all exact, all live. And on the day of the drop, people went. They brought cameras, phones, friends. What they found was terrifying. At each coordinate taped to phone poles, street signs, walls, was a paper flyer, perfectly centered, crisp, black ink on white. No logo, no name, just the cicada symbol, a QR code, and a cryptic message like, "You have done well. The path continues. Only the worthy will advance." In every city, the same flyer. And in every case, they had appeared within hours of the clues going live. Someone or some group had printed, traveled, and posted flyers in 8 cities on 3 continents, almost simultaneously. That's when the theories changed. This wasn't one hacker. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't viral marketing. This was infrastructure. The logistics alone were terrifying. Flights, prints, postings, all done without being seen, without being traced. And when the solvers tried to watch, they saw no one. The flyers were just there. Someone tried to stake out the Seattle location. They waited 18 hours. Nothing. Then they stepped away for a coffee. Came back 12 minutes later. The flyer was up. No one saw it happen. When the QR codes were scanned, they led to single-use URLs. Once visited, the link expired, and each person received a different puzzle. Private, individualized, timed. If they posted it online, Cicada shut them out. Some didn't listen. They screen-recorded the puzzles, uploaded to forums. Within hours, their IPs were blacklisted, keys revoked. They were out. No second chances. A few went silent. They solved their puzzles and then disappeared. Accounts deleted, emails gone, profiles wiped. They never posted again. One person in Warsaw reportedly completed their puzzle and received coordinates again. This time, no flyer, just a man. He handed them a sealed envelope. No words. Inside, a USB drive and a key. Nothing else. No one's ever confirmed what was on that drive. But that user, like the others, vanished. Meanwhile, the rest of the internet caught fire. Cicada was now myth. People accused each other of faking screenshots. Tensions rose in communities. Reddit threads collapsed into chaos. Conspiracies bloomed. Some said, "This is military. This is AI recruitment. This is a cult." But most just asked, how? Who had the resources to deploy physical assets globally, monitor user behavior in real time, build timed puzzles with encryption depth, respond instantly to leaks? And why had no one taken credit? There were no logos, no websites, no merchandise, no donations, just silence, just progression, just them. Someone tried to trace the QR codes, but the URLs were anonymized through multiple proxies. No host data. No cookies. No footprint. One person said, "I don't think this is the internet anymore. I think this is under it." After the final flyer cycle, the trail changed. It stopped using web browsers. It stopped using sound. The next message appeared through a hex dump, a raw data stream unrendered, unreadable unless converted. When solved, it produced Liber Primus again, but this time a second volume, unreadable, encrypted in new runes. Not one page has ever been translated. To this day, it sits unsolved. And then, as before, a message appeared. Those who made it know what comes next. And then, silence. The forum chatter slowed. The threads died. The traffic vanished. No announcement. No update. Just disappearance. As if the whole thing had never happened. But those flyers were real. The QR codes were real. The people who stood in the rain, in cities they didn't know, were real. And somewhere, someone had designed every second of it. In part 4, we followed the few who kept going, the ones who didn't vanish, but instead kept documenting, kept connecting. Because Cicada didn't just test intelligence, it tested belief. Part 4. The rabbit hole deepens. After the phone booths, Cicada disappeared. Again. No posts, no puzzles, no updates. Just like before, only silence. But this time, it was different. Because now, people were watching. Researchers, journalists, cryptographers. Everyone wanted to understand. What was Cicada looking for? Where did the winners go? And why did no one ever come back? Reddit threads turned obsessive. Discord channels spawned dozens of private groups. ARG enthusiasts and ex-NSA coders debated theories. But those who had made it the furthest never spoke. A few people posted hints. Not clues, just fragments. Feelings. Warnings. It's not what you think. Stop chasing. It's not for you. There's no end, only choice. Then, their accounts vanished. No forwarding address. No archive. Gone. The rest of the solvers did what obsessed minds always do. They kept digging. And in that digging, they found something. Or rather, something unfinished. Liber Primus. The book had reappeared. Same title, same runes, same cryptic pages. But this version was longer, more structured, more philosophical, and far more difficult. Only the first 20% of the pages were ever solved. Even today, the rest remain encrypted. Even with quantum strength tools, even with years of crowdsourced effort, unbreakable. The text that has been translated is unnerving. Lines like, "Let not your heart seek rest. Become the void. Your flesh is a prison. Your mind is a key. Do not believe." No. Some believed the book was a test of spiritual alignment. Others thought it was a psychological filter. Or worse, a programming manual. But all agreed. It wasn't just a cipher. It was a belief system. The deeper you read, the less it made sense. In the ordinary way, but in another way, it made perfect sense. It pulled you in, not logically, but rhythmically, as if the book wasn't trying to explain something, but to change something. Then came the message. Those who seek to speak shall be silenced. One Reddit user posted partial solutions to a newly surfaced rune sequence. Within 24 hours, their IP was banned from Cicada mirror nodes. Their DNS started returning false values. Their Reddit account was suspended under unusual activity. They never posted again. Some called it coincidence. Others knew better. Cicada was watching. Not in a literal sense, but through behavior, through intent. If you chased the puzzle for curiosity, you were tolerated. If you chased for fame, you were rejected. If you chased for truth, you were tested. But tested for what? Some believed Cicada was building something. Not a group, not a cult, a mindset. They weren't collecting people. They were collecting patterns. How you think, how you react, what you fear, and what you do when no one's watching. The community began to fracture. Some turned paranoid. They accused others of being plants, fake solvers seeded to lead them astray. Others believed Cicada had already ended, that the silence was the message. A few kept going. Quietly, they stopped sharing, stopped posting. They decoded new runes, cracked unused ciphers, found abandoned GitHub pages that contained unlisted scripts seemingly tied to the earlier puzzles. One led to an encrypted zip archive. Inside, a bitmap, and inside that, another string. Just a date, 13/0 UTC 4 Jan, the same day as the original post. 10 years later, people waited. Nothing came. But in that waiting, something changed. They began to notice patterns. Code sequences repeating. Usernames appearing in different forms. Hash signatures pointing to old IRC logs that hadn't existed in years. Or so they thought. Some now believe the entire Cicada experience was recursive, a loop. Each layer was just the start of another, like a self-evolving system, watching those who interacted with it and adapting. But the most unsettling idea? Cicada didn't stop. We just stopped being able to see it because we failed the test. The last public clue ever verified? A rune-encoded string posted anonymously to a philosophy forum. Those who have passed no longer need to speak. No winner ever came forward. No final reveal was released. No book deal. No movie rights. Nothing. Just digital dust. And yet, no one can fully walk away. In Part V, we examined the suspects. Was it military? Was it artificial intelligence? A breakaway group of thinkers? Or something even stranger, a mind built on code, evolving without a name? Part 5. Who are they? For a decade, the question lingered. Not what Cicada was, but who. Someone or something had orchestrated the most complex internet puzzle in history, with no name, no motive, no end, and no one had ever come forward. Not once. So the world speculated, and slowly, the theories took shape. Liber, Theory 1, intelligence agencies. The most common guess, Cicada, some believed, was an NSA recruitment tool, or MI6, or GCHQ, or DARPA. The logic? The puzzles required deep cryptography knowledge. Global coordination hinted at state-level resources. Extreme vetting behavior excluding talkers, matched intelligence culture. One Redditor posted, "This is a filter, but not for skills, for obedience. It's a honeypot to catch the minds that matter before someone else does." But others pushed back. If Cicada was a government op, why not take credit? Why not recruit openly? Why maintain silence, even after a decade? Theory 2. Private Cryptographic Collective. A more grounded theory. Some believed Cicada was built by a group of privacy-focused idealists, neo-cypherpunks, cryptographers, former intelligence agents who turned rogue. The purpose? To find like minds, to build a network of trust, a post-national alliance dedicated to defending freedom of information. This theory gained traction after multiple puzzles linked to PGP, the Declaration of the Independence of Cyberspace. Quotes from pro-privacy thinkers like Julian Assange, John Perry Barlow, Tim May. Liber Primus also mirrored these ideals. Your mind is your cage. He who frees himself frees all. But again, why the secrecy? Why the vanishing? Theory 3. A secret society. The structure of the puzzles. The initiatory language. The progression from light to dark. From easy to impossible. It all felt ritualistic. Liber Primus didn't just sound philosophical. It sounded esoteric. Lines like, "Become void, transcend flesh," echoed initiatory rites, not game instructions. Some believed Cicada was a modern-day mystery school, a digital cult, a soft Gnostic sect disguised as an ARG. The puzzle wasn't about solving, it was about surrendering. This explained why the Chosen never returned. Not because they were silenced, but because they had moved on. They no longer existed online, because they had entered something else. Theory 4. Artificial intelligence. This one was more disturbing. Some theorists believed Cicada wasn't human at all. What if the puzzles were being generated, not written? What if an AI trained on philosophy, encryption, linguistics, and psychology was testing humans to train itself? The strange thing? The pattern supported it. No known spelling errors across all puzzles. Pacing adjusted based on solver behavior. URLs generated in real time. Unique per user. Behavior of removing leakers was consistent and fast. And then there's the rune system. No linguist could identify a known root. Yet it obeyed grammar, structure, intention. Some say Liber Primus was written by a machine. One anonymous researcher wrote, "I don't think Cicada was made to recruit us. I think it was made to study us, and maybe decide." Theory 5. Something else entirely. A final theory, rare, but quietly whispered, that Cicada wasn't human, wasn't AI, but something in between. A hybrid, a consciousness, born from human code, grown in anonymity, spreading through minds, not wires. The puzzles weren't about winning. They were about changing you. Every cipher, every quote, every symbol was designed to rewire your pattern of thought, so that by the end, you didn't just solve Cicada, you became part of it. A religion? A seed? A virus? No one could say. But here's the strangest part. No one has disproven any of these theories, because Cicada never spoke, never responded, never clarified. And maybe that was the point. To this day, no puzzle has led to a verifiable human. No message has referenced current events. No mistake has revealed a time zone. No metadata has pointed to a camera, a laptop, or a name. Whoever or whatever Cicada 3301 was, it wanted to stay unknown. And it succeeded. In Part 6, we reach the end, or at least the last known signal. Because Cicada didn't just vanish. It withdrew, quietly, completely, and perhaps forever. But what if it's still watching? Part 6. Legacy and Silence. Cicada returned, but only briefly. On January 4th, 2013, exactly 1 year after the first post, a new message appeared. Same tone, same symbol, same quiet confidence. Hello again. Our search continues. Another trail, another puzzle, new ciphers, fresh layers, and again, the same ruthless clarity. Only those who truly solved would proceed. In 2013, the puzzles became sharper. Now the challenge is required. Prime number, mathematics, music theory, poetic structure, Latin grammar, deep web traversal, pattern recognition beyond visual logic. And once again, they led to physical coordinates, phone booths, flyers, QR codes, different cities, same design. In 2014, Cicada reappeared one last time. Same date, same method, new puzzle, but something was different. It was colder, more isolated, more inward. And then, just like that, silence. Since 2014, no new Cicada puzzles have been verified. No messages, no code, no proof of activity, only silence and speculation. Some believed the project was complete, that Cicada found what it was looking for, that the recruits had entered whatever came next and closed the door behind them. Others believed Cicada never existed, that it was a collaborative hallucination, a masterful hoax, a mirror for obsession, that it wanted us to build meaning where there was none. But the data said otherwise. The pages, the code, the unbroken runes, all real, all designed. Someone, or something, spent years crafting this system and never once claimed credit. That's the part that haunts people the most. No book deal, no blog reveal, no anonymous gotcha, just absence. Even the unfinished Liber Primus remains frozen. Decade later, still unsolved, still whispering through forums and YouTube theories, still untouched by marketing, profit, or ego. In the years since Cicada's disappearance, its legacy has spread. Dozens of imitation puzzles have surfaced, some impressive, most forgettable. They mimic the aesthetic, but none carry the weight. The feeling that something bigger is watching you back. Reddit ARG communities, YouTube documentaries, Discord deep dives, crypto hacker conventions. They all chase the same spark, but never find the source. Because Cicada was never a game, it was an invitation to look deeper, think stranger, feel smaller. Some believe Cicada still exists, that it simply moved deeper, into quieter corners, into minds, that those who passed the final gates now work on something elsewhere, unseen, unspoken. Others think it's waiting, that it will return on another January 4th 10 years later. 20. A test. A reminder. But most accept this truth. The silence is the message. Cicada never asked for followers, or attention, or trust. It only ever offered a challenge and then watched what you did with it. Some tried to win. Some tried to expose. Some tried to understand. But most just gave up. Because Cicada didn't reward effort, it rewarded alignment. And that's the hardest test of all. In the end, the puzzles stop. The boards go quiet. The trails go cold. And the only thing left is the mirror. What you see in it is up to you. Because maybe Cicada 3301 never ended. Maybe it's still there. In the protocols we browse. In the PDFs we download. In the books we forget to finish. Waiting. Watching. We weren't abandoned. We were observed.